Hey y'all, it's Pastor Caleb. Hope you're doing well today. Got Matthew, the ministry intern, with us. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas movies and ranking them in a tier list, so hope you will enjoy. We're going to be talking about Christmas movies today, ranking them, if we think they're good, if you should watch them, all kinds of things. The first one that comes to mind is A Christmas Story. This is the classic Christmas story. It's played on TBS or TNT for like 24 hours straight. It talks about, putting your eye out with the Red Ryder BB gun. Ralphie is all about getting that BB gun.
It's like a classic. It's got enough humor and heart in it. It shows a lot about his family and stuff like that.
That's good stuff.
I'd say it's top tier.
So top tier. So would you give it a A plus, or just how would you rank that movie?
From A to F, I'd say probably A.
A, definitely an A. I mean, it's so good that TBS and TNT literally play it for 24 hours straight, starting on Christmas Eve and going all through Christmas. So just a classic movie. Highly recommend A Christmas Story. Also about A Christmas Story, I noticed that they had made a sequel to it, and I watched the trailer. It just flat out looked terrible. I don't know what they were thinking. The acting looked very poor. Didn't look entertaining at all.
I watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
It's barely has any of the same spirit in it. The acting isn't as good.
Did you waste time watching it?
I did waste time watching it.
There you go.
The next movie we have on here is Elf with Will Ferrell. Another Christmas classic, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just so many classic things from Elf. I mean, you think of Elf spaghetti. I know that a lot of different student organizations will do an Elf spaghetti contest during the Christmas season. Just seeing all these kids eat nasty spaghetti with syrup, marshmallows, Pop-Tarts, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just absolutely hilarious. So Matthew, why would somebody need to watch Elf this Christmas season?
It's good for like the family of all ages, but I definitely see how it appeals to a lot of adults in the older audience. But it's still good to watch with like your kids and all that.
8 a.m. Santa's coming to town.
A good classic movie. I would give that a solid B. The next movie we want to talk about is probably the most debated Christmas movie of all time, of whether or not it is considered a Christmas movie, and that is Die Hard with Bruce Willis. Not really a per se Christmas theme with Santa or anything. It just happens to take place at Christmas time, and there's a Christmas party in the opening scene. Just an all-around great action movie.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong with it. And it is, like we said, it takes place at Christmas time. Die Hard for me is top tier, A plus, right up there with A Christmas Story. So the next movie is another classic, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. If you don't know a quote from this movie, you've probably been living under a rock, because not even just at Christmas time, this movie gets quoted a lot. I mean, just a classic movie, Christmas Vacation. Another awesome thing is the Christmas lights. Chevy Chase's character, he's so like fascinated and just has so much, let's say, Christmas spirit maybe, that he wants his house to be the best and brightest Christmas display on the block. I mean, he literally has like the entire house covered. Nobody really believes that he's gonna be able to get this accomplished.
Even his own family.
His own family, yeah. His son Rusty has a little faith in him. I love Christmas Vacation. I'm gonna give it an A plus. All right, so another movie that I think is pretty good, and you might think this is strange coming from a guy. I don't know, but the movie Noelle. It's a newer movie.
Okay.
Have you seen Noelle?
I have not. I've seen the trailers for it, but I never actually ended up
You've seen the trailers. Okay. Well, Noelle stars Anna Kendrick. You might know her from
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect. Do you like Pitch Perfect?
The first one was okay.
It's not a Christmas movie,
No.
but just to give you a reference, this is who stars in Noelle.
First one was okay.
The first one was okay. All right, so Noelle is basically, she is Santa Claus' daughter, and her brother is supposed to take the role of Santa Claus.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't fit or feel like he's adequate to be Santa Claus, or he wants to do something different. So Noelle insists that he take a weekend to think about it. Well, he decides not to come back. So now there is this massive dilemma that there's no Santa Claus. Well, Noelle then has to go find her brother because everybody is panicking. All the elves are panicking. There's like toys aren't being made. They're thinking the toys aren't going to get delivered, all kinds of things. But basically the story goes that Noelle is the one that really wants to be Santa. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And they've never really had a female Santa before. I would give this a solid C.
Okay, I will trust your judgment on that.
Because the acting is good, but it just doesn't have enough time to build up that nostalgia of being an epic every year Christmas movie where you're going to quote it. I believe it's streaming on Disney Plus right now, so if you haven't seen it, that's a good way to watch it. It's on Disney Plus. I saw that it had the actress from Pitch Perfect. I thought Pitch Perfect was pretty hilarious, so I was like, hey, maybe this will be good.
Okay.
I don't know why I just admitted that. Maybe we can edit that.
No, I'm not cutting that out.
Okay, you're not going to. Okay. I just maybe lost a tear on my man card, but the next one is kind of a two-parter. It includes Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
I've seen both of them.
You've seen both?
I think they're both good, but the first one is great.
The first one's... Well, I'm going to argue with you there because Home Alone 2 has Donald Trump in it, so it's got to be great.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
In my opinion, you can't really replace Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern. Mm-hmm. I mean, these are just...
It's a classic treat.
They're classic.
What would you put Home Alone on the tier list?
I would give Home Alone 1 an A+.
I would also give it an A.
I would give Home Alone 2, since it's making Home Alone great again, it would be at the top of the list. Not really. I would give it a B. So there's a few other classic movies that get played that came out in the 60s and 70s. And these are the Claymation movies that are played, usually either on like ABC or CBS, all through the Christmas season.
Right.
What's the titles of those?
One is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Classic.
Which is, everybody knows who that is. And then one of my favorites is A Year Without a Santa Claus.
That's awesome. You got some pretty intense villains in that movie.
Yeah, Heat Miser and Snow Miser. Their songs and their voice actors are just some of the most iconic Christmas tunes and characters that are
Which
out
one do
there.
you like better?
Snow Miser.
Why
I like The Cold more, and I think his song is more catchy because it's faster.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. So, how would you rank the Claymation? We're just going to group those together.
Okay.
Because usually they are played back to back, usually on TV, on old school TV.
I would say they're both equal on how good they are.
I would agree with that. They're solid, classic.
I'd say A or B.
I think I'm going to give those an A+.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an A+ because they're just so classic. They're timeless. They've been out for over 40 years.
Right.
So, I mean, just a classic movie.
Polar Express.
This might shock you. I have never seen Polar Express because I didn't find it very interesting.
Like the concept of it?
It didn't seem entertaining to me. When I watch a movie, I want to be entertained. It didn't seem entertaining to me.
I like it, but I understand its problems. Like the animation is outdated, and the faces look kind of weird.
It does have Tom Hanks as one of the voice actors.
Yeah, he's a good voice actor.
So with Tom Hanks being in it, I will give it a higher grade than normal.
I would give it a higher grade just because I don't think I have any more nostalgia for any movie other than this one. This is like the top.
This is your top?
Well, not my. It's. I would put it at one of the top. Just
Really?
because I'm so nostalgic for it.
Okay. So, I mean,
But I want to hear what you think. So
with the way the movie is, and I've seen, bits and pieces. I haven't watched the whole movie through, but I've seen like trailers and that. From what I've seen, I would normally give that a D.
Really?
Yes, really. But since it has Tom Hanks in it, I'm a big Tom Hanks fan. I like a lot, basically any movie that Tom Hanks is in. Just because of that, I would bump it up to a C.
The last movie is Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
I could put it into ranking without even talking about it.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to really say about a Charlie Brown Christmas. I mean, classic,
Probably the best Christmas movie.
probably the greatest. This is what I think we are all in agreement that Charlie Brown Christmas, greatest Christmas movie of all time.
You can't go of Christmas without watching it.
What's one of the greatest things about Charlie Brown Christmas?
For me personally, it's that Charles Schultz, the creator of Peanuts, was a devoted Christian, and yet you can really see it in this movie. They sing Christian songs. Linus quotes the Bible on stage.
I mean, I think when Linus drops his blanket and he's sharing
Uh-huh.
about the meaning of Christmas and Charlie Brown, just a moving scene, just classic, nostalgic, just heartwarming.
It's funny.
It's good. I mean, just everything about a Charlie Brown Christmas is just amazing. So, how would you rank a Charlie Brown Christmas? I mean, honestly, I think we're all in agreement on this, that Charlie Brown Christmas is a masterpiece. I mean, just phenomenal. Everything about the movie is just great. You can watch it over and over.
It's not too long.
It's not too long. Great story. The voice actors are just awesome. Characters that you can relate to. Every one of the characters in the Peanut story, you can relate to one of them and apply something that you learned from the movie.
Reminds you of people you used to know.
Absolutely. So just a great movie.
Yeah, really not much else to say about it.
So we hope that you've enjoyed our rundown of Christmas movies that you should probably watch in the year 2020 to encourage you, to make you laugh, to make you smile. Some of them not so good. Some of them are really great. Charlie Brown Christmas, masterpiece, classic. Christmas Vacation, Die Hard, Christmas Story. I think those were our top that we all agreed on that were the top movies. So we hope you've enjoyed this. Hit like, hit subscribe, and follow us for more content.